What's up, loved ones? This is Jonte Grace, and I just wanted to give you an update on the status of Measure 114 in the state of Oregon. For a quick recap, Measure 114 is the gun control bill that was voted on in the past election, this past November, and it passed narrowly by a 50% margin of victory. It was actually 50.6% said yes, 50.4% or 49.4% said no. I don't know. Yeah, I think that matches up, right? Whatever. I can't math. But so it narrowly passed, right? And so there's been a lot of debate on either side as to whether or not we really want this, we really need this, whether this really addresses the needs of crime, violence, gun violence in our state, right? But anyway, to recap what the measure does, the measure institutes a permit to purchase program, which means that in order to even buy a gun, you have to now go get a permit first. And in order to get that permit, you have to take a gun safety course that has been vetted and approved by the Oregon State Police Force, right? So that gun safety course that you may have taken, it may or may not be good enough for this permit to purchase because in this measure, the gun safety course that you have to take has to include live fire exercises, right? And not all gun safety courses include live firing in them. If you happen to take one at a firing range, maybe you'll get live fire, but some gun courses are taken in just normal office settings. Some are in on campuses and things like that, so they don't include live fire. Whatever. So there's that. Then you also have to do a fingerprint and a background check, which we've already had national background checks. That was already the case. You have to take a background check in order to purchase a firearm in the state of Oregon. That was already the case, but now you have to do a fingerprinting and a background check. Then you have to pay a fee to your local police department in order to be put into their database of registered permit to purchase gun owners, right? That's not all. The measure also limits magazine capacities to 10 rounds or less. They call it high capacity, but most mid to full size weapons all come with larger than 10 rounds. My standard Taurus G3 9mm came with a 15 round magazine and a 17 round magazine. Neither of those are considered high capacity. High capacity would be 30 rounds, 50 rounds, 100 rounds. That's high capacity. 11 rounds is not high capacity. So this law arbitrarily designates 10 rounds as the cutoff for all magazines in the state of Oregon. If you happen to own a magazine that is larger than 10 rounds, it is now not illegal, but unlawful if this measure goes into effect for you to use that other than training or other than taking it to the range, right? You cannot carry it with you as your daily means of protection. Whatever. All right. So, what's the status of Measure 114 now? Well, the measure has been challenged in several lower courts in the state of Oregon, pending the outcome they are challenging the constitutionality of this measure. They are saying that this violates our right to bear arms, our Second Amendment rights. I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. So, before this measure can take effect, those lawsuits must be resolved in order to move forward. Well, what happened is the Oregon Attorney General's office filed a petition to move forward with implementing Measure 114 pending the outcome of those lawsuits. So basically, they wanted to implement it before those lawsuits ran their course. And thank God for the rule of law, because I'll read this for you. The Oregon Supreme Court has denied a petition to overturn a lower court's ruling blocking the state's new gun laws from taking effect. Ballot Measure 114's provisions remain blocked in their entirety pending a lower court hearing on the measure's constitutionality. So, basically, that means that it is on hold right now. It doesn't mean that it will not eventually go into effect, right? So, what do I suggest you do at this point? I just think that you need to stock up on the supplies that you think and equipment that you think you will need for your personal self-defense or home defense network, right? So I just think that you need to go out and purchase extra magazines. If you think that you may need additional mags, go out and purchase your magazines. Make sure that you purchase anything that you think that this measure will outlaw or ban. You may want to get it now because there's no telling how long these lawsuits will take effect. It's possibly going to take a couple of months, but who knows? It may be 3 months. It may be 6 months. It may be wrapped up in a month. Who knows? So I encourage you to buy the supplies that you think you will need. Also, I encourage you to sign up and take a gun safety course, right? Not only for Measure 114, because you're going to have to eventually in order to be able to get a permit to purchase a weapon, but because it is good practice, right? And if you are a real Second Amendment supporter, then you do advocate for also gun safety and responsible gun ownership and operation, right? So I encourage everybody, even if you think that you are proficient in handling and using firearms, it never hurts to sharpen your skills or to broaden your skills. So I encourage you to go ahead and sign up and take a gun safety course now. All right. So that's the status of Measure 114 right now. It's currently blocked in the courts, pending the outcome of those lawsuits in the lower courts. And I will be back and I will keep updating you as more news gets released. Thank you all. My name is Jonte Grace. Please like and subscribe. And I'll be back at you with more news. Peace, y'all.